If you've ever jumped into a submarine in World of Warships and wondered why you keep getting spotted, depth charged, and sent back to port, in the first 5 minutes, this video is for you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Normal Guy of the North here, and today we're doing a deep dive, pun fully intended, into how to properly and correctly play submarines in World of Warships. Now, subs are one of the most misunderstood classes in the game. If you play them recklessly, you're nothing more than a floating target waiting to get deleted. But if you play them properly, they become absolute game changers, ambushing battleships, hunting down enemy destroyers, and creating the kind of psychological pressure that flips entire flanks. So today I'm going to break this guide into 5 solid, proven points that will make you a better submarine player instantly. And I'll explain not just what to do, but why it works in the current 2025 meta. Let's get the first and most important thing. Subs thrive on stealth and positioning. Your concealment is usually 5 to 6 kilometers or less, which makes you one of the stealthiest ships in the game. That means your number one job at the start is not to YOLO into a cap. Instead, look at the mini-map, see where the enemy destroyers and carriers are likely to patrol, and then swing wide. You want to be on the flanks, not in the middle. The middle is where radar cruisers, hydro, and crossfire all come together. If you get lit there, you'll eat airstrikes and depth charges from multiple angles. Instead, think of yourself like a shark. Use half to full speed submerged, adjust your course gradually so you don't make noise, and aim to get within 6 to 10 kilometers of an isolated battleship or cruiser. That's your meal. Why play this way? Because flanking takes advantage of chaos. While the surface ships are busy brawling, you're sliding in undetected, lining up torpedoes, and scoring devastating alpha strikes on high HP targets. You shift momentum without exposing yourself to every ASW weapon in the area. Your depth is your life bar. If you mismanage it, you're done. Here's the golden rule. Cycle between periscope depth and combat depth. At periscope depth, you can spot up to 10 kilometers out, acquire targets, and launch torpedoes. At combat depth, usually 30 meters down, you can break line of sight, avoid aircraft, and dodge depth charges. The trick is to pop up at around 8 to 10 kilometers from your target, acquire your lock, fire your torpedoes, and then immediately dive back down to 30 meters or more if enemy planes or ships start closing in. When under depth charge attack, use zigzag maneuvers. Subs actually have pretty tight underwater turning circles, often around 370 meters for tier 8 and 10 boats, which lets you juke incoming patterns. However, only start the turnouts, you're no longer detected. Why play this way? Because stats don't lie. Subs that manage depth properly deal 30 to 50% more damage per match and live significantly longer. Staying too long at one depth, whether periscope or bottomed out, makes you predictable. Cycling keeps you alive and dangerous. This is where a lot of sub players throw games. They fire 1 or 2 torps at a time, hoping for lucky hits. Don't do that. Subs don't have a lot of torpedo tubes like a Shimakaze. You've usually got 6 to 10. Fire them all in one decisive spread. Aim at the broadside of a battleship or cruiser at an 80 to 90 degree angle. Ping twice. That gives you the highest hit probability. Once you fire, immediately dive below periscope depth to break periscope visibility and then reposition. Move 2 to 4 kilometers perpendicular to your original attack angle while you reload. Why play this way? Because a full spread can flood Citadel-style damage or outright delete a ship for 50,000 plus damage. A half salvo wastes your stealth window. And if you sit still after firing, the enemy knows exactly where to drop depth charges. By relocating, you double your survival odds and keep farming damage instead of becoming fish food. This one is underrated but makes a huge difference. Subs aren't just hunters, they're also spotters. Your hydrophone consumable lets you detect enemy ships and subs within 6 to 9 kilometers. And sonar pings can light targets for your whole team. Use it every 30 to 45 seconds, not just when you're hunting. For example, destroyers hiding in smoke. Your hydrophone and pings can reveal them, letting your cruisers and battleships delete them. Even if your torps don't land, a ping forces the enemy to maneuver, often exposing their broadside or ruining their aim. Why play this way? Because subs that support their team with vision win more. In sub-heavy matches, coordinated spotting and pinging raises team win rates by 15 to 20%. You're not just farming your own numbers, you're swinging entire cap fights in your team's favor. The last point is crucial. Subs are mutual predators. If you ignore the enemy sub, they'll farm your team unchecked. So early in the match, activate your submarine surveillance. That's your radar-like consumable, usually with a 9 to 12 kilometer range, to scan for their position. If you're on a line with strong ASW like German or British subs, don't be afraid to close the distance and go for the kill. even if you can't finish them. Forcing them to burn dive capacity early cripples their long-term impact. Why play this way? Because the team that wins the sub duel usually wins the match. High-level players report 40% more personal impact in games where they secure the first sub kill. Once the underwater threat is gone, you're free to focus on ambushing battleships and cruisers without constantly being hunted yourself. So to recap, flank and use your concealment, master depth cycling, fire full spreads, then reposition. Use hydrophone and pings to support the team. Hunt down enemy subs early. If you play this way, you'll stop being the stereotypical early dead sub and instead become one of the most impactful players in the match. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Drop your sub tips in the comments. I'd love to hear how you approach them. And please feel free and click on one of the videos on your screen for more World of Warships content. As always, take care, stay safe, and I wish you all the best. See you in the next one, and bye for now.